Go ahead, Michael.
Carl, this is Michael Pointer from the Indianapolis Star. Again, kind of a looking ahead question. Is the Brickyard, in your opinion, is it still kind of considered the #2 race after Daytona by the drivers, or has that kind of changed in the last few years with just the newness wearing off and, you know, just maybe not being quite as big of a spectacle?
No, Indianapolis is Indianapolis. I mean, it is to me, it's I'm a little biased. I want to win Kansas more than anything, so Kansas is kind of the #1 until we get that one out of the way. But I'd say Daytona and Indy they're both huge. I don't think there really is there's no bigger race than those two. And I don't feel, I know for me, I have yet to win there and know what it's like, but that still would be a career accomplishment. And I think each driver, you know, I think they feel that way. If you watch the past winners, I mean, seeing Paul win there and Jamie and the emotion, how important that win was to them and their teams. I think we all go to that race and just dream, the guys who haven't won it dream of standing there, you know, on those bricks. That would be very cool.
Let's go to Lee, and then we'll go to Jason.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. You went through this whole, you know, rigmarole with the contract thing last year. Matt went through it this year. The two situations were entirely different. You're going to have this come up with you again in the near future. What have you learned from seeing Matt's deal and how you went through it the last time? Would you change the way that you did it last year?
No, I think you know, all you can do is just, like anyone should do, you should look at what's out there and determine what's the best, and then make your decision. And I think that, you know, if the press and you guys start getting a hold of it, it makes it more stressful, because then you start to get outside influence, and it's really hard to put that aside. I think what Matt did, this is just my opinion. I don't know. This isn't a company line or anything like that, but I think what Matt did was very smart for Matt, but keeping it very quiet. He was able to make his decision on his own terms, and I think that you know, that's why I'm never. You guys will never know when my contract is up. I'm never going to tell you guys again. So, what's that? No, it's not.
Jason.
Jason Frace with the Louisville Courier-Journal. Carl, is dealing with the heat this weekend any different than what you normally encounter at any summer race? And can you kind of go into detail some of the things you do in your seat to kind of stay hydrated and those kind of things?
Is it supposed to get hot or something, or is you know, you try the best you can to stay in shape. I've got a trainer, Dean Gollett. He's standing there in the back. He works for Carmichael Training Systems, and you know, he's here at this race. I'm sure, you know, everybody's got their trainers here. They're making sure they're staying hydrated. They're doing the right things, because it's all these guys are tough. I mean, they're, you know, nobody's complaining, but at the end of the day, you know, 3/4 of the way in that race, you want to be in top form. You want to be the best you can be, and I think that it's not something you can adjust to right here this weekend. It's, you know, you got to eat your Frosted Flakes and your sub sandwiches for lunch, and, you know, all that stuff for a long time leading up to this race. You got to stay in shape, and these are fun races for the guys who do stay fit and work towards this kind of stuff, because you get to kind of see some of that work, hopefully, and you know, I enjoy these hot races.
All right, let's go to Reed, right here. Go ahead.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service.
Everything all right between you guys? You're sitting kind of close.
Oh yeah. We just like aisle seats.
Okay. All right.
It's the heat.
Same as the plane.
You guys do this on the plane too?
Yeah. But Reed Spencer, NASCAR Wire Service. A lot of times the lame duck situations don't always end well.
Right.
And 20 races is a long time to be a lame duck in an organization. How do you sort of balance the fact that you've got a friend working for an organization this year that you want to see perhaps win a championship if
right.
you know, if it comes to that, and yet, you know, he's a guy that's you know, you're going to try to develop stuff with the organization that he may be able to take some information with him to a new organization. I remember when Brian Vickers was on the way out at Hendrick, he was asked not to come to competition meetings at a certain point in the season. I mean, how does that all work, and how does the dynamic work within an organization like that?
Matt is a true professional, and I believe that he and Jack will be the one. They know more about Roush Fenway racing and what to do to win championships than me or anyone else at Roush Fenway, except maybe Robbie Reiser. So I think those two will determine, you know, the actual logistics, or whatever you call it, the planning of who's going to be at what meetings and what information there will be shared. But I mean, Matt is my teammate. He is a guy that I trust. I mean, I was down there in his car talking to him about the line he was driving at the race this weekend. I'm going to treat Matt the same way I have, you know, as a teammate for the rest of this season. I mean, he's going to be a guy that I'm going to lean on. I'm going to hope he's, you know, honest and helping me, and I'm sure he will be. I mean, he just, I'm telling you, you guys know Matt as well as I do almost, and he's a real professional. I think he'll be a threat to win this championship, and I don't think Jack will back down. I don't think, you know, any of the crew guys will. I know we'll give him, you know, everything we can, and as far as what information about future developments we share, that'll be between him and Jack.
Bob Pockris.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Matt laughed at the perception that maybe he had wanted a deal that people perceived would be as good as yours. Do you laugh when people are like, oh, he left because of Carl's deal, or does that type of thing irk you?
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, no one knows what my deal is. Nobody really knows the details of Matt's deals. No, I mean, it's all speculation. And I think at the end of the day, you know, I can say that, you know, Matt and I we get along as well as we ever have, and that that it's an open book over there at Roush with Steve Newmark and Jack and everyone. And if there was ever an issue like that, we'd have worked it out. But you know, it's speculation. I've heard 100 things about what's going on, and I heard hundreds of them about what I was doing last year. Heck, I was signed up at other places, and you know, people knew more about it than I did. So I think at the end of the day, you just have to let the guy go do his business, and whatever is, and the rest is just speculation.